Welcome to my class. Today's lesson is about verbs and I've done many videos regarding the subject of verbs. Today we are going to discuss about the different properties of verbs. So let's get started. So there are 5 properties to a verb. They are mood, voice, number, person and tense. So let's start with the mood of a verb. As we know, mood is a state of being. When you read a piece of text, it gives you an idea about the mood of the sentence. For example, if somebody shouts, "Be quiet." Now this sentence has got a mood. It has got a commanding mood and therefore you can say that it is in the imperative mood. So in that way, we've got 5 different moods to a verb. They are the indicative, the imperative, the interrogative, subjunctive, and the conditional. This show is interesting. So what can you say about the mood of the sentence here? This sentence is stating a fact and therefore you can say that it is in the indicative mood. Where are you going? So here you can say that this sentence is in the interrogative mood since we are asking a question. Wish you the best. Now which mood is this sentence in? You can say that this sentence is in the imperative mood. The imperative mood is not only used for commands, words of encouragement. The next mood we are going to talk about is the conditional mood. Can you observe the sentence written here? It is, if I meet my friends, I will be late. So over here, we find that there is a condition that is being expressed in this sentence. Therefore, you can say that this sentence is in the conditional mood. And finally, we've got the subjunctive mood. A subjunctive mood expresses sentences that have a request, a demand, a wish, a suggestion, advice, etc. So in this particular sentence, we've got the court rules that he be free. So over here, he be free. Now in this sentence, we find that it is a sentence that expresses a demand. And therefore you can say that this sentence is in the subjunctive mood. Next property is the voice. So there are 2 different voices, the active and the passive voices. So as the name suggests, the active voice always gives the sentence a dynamic feeling. She caught the rabbit. So here this sentence is in the active voice. Now here we have got the subject she and she is acting as the agent of the action, which is to catch the rabbit. So it is she caught the rabbit and the rabbit is the victim. So when you have got the subject that is performing the action, then you say that sentence is in the active voice. Whereas if I rephrase the sentence as, the rabbit was caught by her. Now over here in the second sentence, we find that the victim, which is the rabbit, is acting as the subject of this sentence. Therefore, you can say that this sentence is in the passive voice. The next property that I would like to share with you is the property that the verb should agree with the person as well as in number. So if I say, I take a glass. So here, I take a look at the verb here. It is just take. Whereas if I have another sentence that says, she takes a glass. So here the verb take changes to takes when it is in the third person, which is she. Whereas in the first person, the verb was just take. And if you say, we take a glass, again, we is the first person in the plural form. Here the verb remains the same as take. So according to the person, the verb form also changes. When it is in the first person, we do not add an s, it is just take. Whereas in the third person, we find that we add s to the verb. Next, let's discuss about the verb that should agree with the number. So here, this is my pen. So here, what is the verb here? It is. Now, is in the singular form because we have got only one pen. But in the next sentence, if you say, these are my pens. So over here the verb is are, and why have we used are and not is? Because now we are talking about more than one pen, and therefore you can say it is these are my pens. So this is the way the verb changes when it needs to agree with the number. Now let's move on to the final property, which is the tense of a verb. So tense is the relationship of a verb with the time, which means basically the duration of the action. The relationship of the verb to the duration. If we are talking about an action that is in the current moment, you can say that it is in the present. When you're talking about an action that is already over, you can say that it is in the past. And finally, when you're talking about an action that is going to happen, then you can say it is in the future tense. So now let's discuss about the different tenses. Depending upon the duration of the action, each of these tenses can be of the following forms. They can be in the simple form, they can be in the continuous, the perfect, and the perfect continuous form. They weave their baskets. So this sentence is in the present tense because the verb weave is in the present tense. He was drinking a glass of water. So here this verb here is was and drinking. Was is in the simple past and drinking is the present participle of the verb, and therefore this sentence is in the past continuous tense. I will have been exercising for 2 hours. So over here this sentence is in the future perfect continuous tense. We see that the verb here is will plus have plus been, and then the verb in the present participle form, which is exercising. Therefore it is said to be in the future perfect continuous tense. Now that we've approached the end of this lesson, if I give you a sentence, can you identify the properties? They are weaving their baskets. So first of all, let us identify the mood. In what mood is this sentence in? This sentence is in the indicative mood. It is in the indicative mood because it is stating a fact. And now can you tell me about the tense of this sentence? It is in the present continuous tense, as we've got the verb are and weaving. Weaving is the present participle of the verb to weave. And now can you identify the voice? It is in the active voice because we've got they as the subject and they are performing the action of weaving, and it is acting as a subject of the sentence. Therefore you can say that the sentence is in the active voice. Now the verb here agrees in person as well as number. The verb here is are. Now if you take a look at the sentence, we've got they are. So they is the subject. It is in the third plural. It's in the third person plural. And because of that, we've used the verb are, which is also in the plural. Since they refers to more than one person, we have to use are because it is in the plural form. Therefore, the verb agrees with the number as well in this particular sentence. So hope that you've enjoyed this lesson, and thank you for watching.